This shoe is supposed to be good for you if you do it right, but like with any activity, it's possible to get really sore from it or to end up, worst case scenario, with an injury. But despite the risk, I wanted to reap the benefits of barefoot shoes, namely stronger, more durable feet. So I came up with a game plan to avoid injury and to successfully transition into barefoot shoes. So I knew that switching to barefoot shoes would mean a decrease in arch support, decrease in cushion, and decrease in heel drop, which would mean an increase in the demands or work that my ankle muscles and foot muscles and tendons have to go through, and also an increase in the range of motion requirements of my ankle, specifically dorsiflexion. So that means I'll have to increase the strength of my muscles and tendons and increase the flexibility of my ankle. So as any good PT would do, I turned to exercise. So to improve the strength and durability of my ankle muscles and tendons and to improve the flexibility so that I don't compensate weirdly when I walk, I added these exercises into my leg day routine. All right, so the first one is a plantar fascia stretch. So what you want to do is take your foot, bend it up towards your shin, and then you're going to bend your toes also up towards your shin, and you might get kind of a stretch here along your plantar fascia, which is this springy tissue that's on the bottom of your foot. And then you're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Now, what this does is it stretches out that plantar fascia, kind of makes it more pliable so that whenever you're taking a step, it doesn't feel so stiff. If it's not quite used to being stretched or the stress of not having arch support, then it could get irritated. So this is a way to kind of prevent some of that. The next exercise is a calf stretch. So there are a lot of different ways to stretch your calf, but I like this one the best. All right, so here's the setup. You want to stand in a staggered stance like this, and then we're going to be stretching the back leg. And one of the main things you want to do is keep your knees straight so that we stretch the gastrocnemius, one of your calf muscles. Then you also want to make sure your feet are pointed directly forward. Sometimes people will try to stretch and then their foot will be pointed out to the side, but then that's a compensation and you're only stretching maybe like one side of your calf. You want to make sure it's straight forward so that you get even stretch through your entire calf. And then you're going to keep your heel down and then lean forward like this, and it bends your ankle. And it should feel like a stretch in your calf. All right, so there's another compensation I want to go over with you real quick. Sometimes I see people, when they try to bend their ankle forward, they'll really overpronate or flatten out their feet too much. And what you get is you're stretching out a lot of other tissues and muscles that don't really need to necessarily be stretched. And then you end up with over flattening your feet. So if you can, try and keep that arch raised while you're stretching, and I'll go over how to do some arch raises. But if you can't do that, then you could always kind of stuff something like a towel, roll towel under here to kind of keep your arch from flattening out too much, and then you perform the stretch. So for that stretch, 3 sets of 30-second holds will be enough to kind of get some improved flexibility. So what the calf stretch will do is that it'll improve your ankle flexibility that you need for walking with a zero drop heel. That way you don't compensate by overpronating or doing a toe out kind of walking motion here. All right, on to the next exercise. So this one is going to be a double leg heel raise, but off of a step. Let me show you. All right, so for this exercise, all you need is a step, maybe something to hold on to like a chair. And then you're going to do a heel raise all the way up and then all the way down below neutral into this kind of stretch position. And this could also be a calf stretch in itself, but you don't get to control like how much you're pronating and all that. So from here, you're going to go back up and down. And it's better if you go slow. If you get strong enough, then you can go to a single leg heel raise up and down like this. So what this exercise does is it increases your calf strength and Achilles tendon durability through the full range of your ankle mobility. Since with walking in zero drop heel shoes like barefoot shoes, you'll be using more ankle dorsiflexion range of motion or mobility. So you want to be able to have enough strength to get through the full range instead of only being strong in part of the range. All right, so the next exercise we're going to work on is some arch raises. What you want to do is to keep your heel down and keep the base of your big toe and your big toe down as well. And then you're going to kind of try to raise your arches by sort of almost like turning your foot out. But what you don't want is the base of your big toes to leave the ground. You want to keep that firmly on the ground, even kind of press down your big toe. Don't scrunch it, but just press down and then raise your arches like that. So you can kind of see how I'm starting from a flat position and I'm kind of raising the arches a little bit. So the importance of this exercise is to train your brain and your feet to be able to raise the arches, control those muscles that control the arches, because those are the ones that are going to be stressed with the lack of arch support, right? So we want to try to train those muscles and those tendons to get stronger, more durable. Okay, so next exercise is going to be, well, in my opinion, the most fun. We are going to balance. All right, so depending on your level of balance, there are different ways to start. You could start off like this, probably the easiest, probably gonna be too easy for you. If that's too easy, then you try in tandem, kind of like you're walking a tightrope. And then if that's too easy, then you can go single leg balancing. And this may be challenging for most people. If this is pretty easy, then here's where the fun really starts. You can try moving to make it more challenging. So with my other leg, I'm gonna reach forward, reach out to the side, reach back, reach to the other side. And your goal is to just keep balance, right? Okay. Now, that's too easy. You can carry a weight. This is a 12-pound medicine ball, but any weight really will do. And what you can do is kind of shift your weight side to side, just like this. That'll make it a little more challenging. You can go in circles with it. This just kind of throws off your center of gravity, making your feet, your ankle muscles work harder. If you can, go ahead and add in that arch raise. Keep your arch raised, your big toe down while you're balancing, and that'll work your feet and ankle muscles even more. So the benefits of working on balance: one, of course, you're going to improve your balance, but two, all your ankle and feet muscles have to work together to stabilize your feet and ankles and keep you from tipping over. So you'll really feel the burn and all like down your calf, in your feet. So great exercise to work on. So as I continue these exercises, I noticed my feet were stronger, more durable, and it made the transition, my hair's all messed up. It made the transition to barefoot shoes a lot more easier. But the other part of the successful transition to barefoot shoes was changing how I walked. So if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out over here.